All right, the most ethical American she knows. Joining me now to talk about this Jack Smith's charge, superseding charge or whatever it's called, our great friend Congressman Byron Donalds, member of the House Oversight Committee. Byron, I'll get your take on the Devon Archer thing in a second, but I just want to read, this business about Trump withholding tapes and prosecutor Jack Smith going after him. This is from Truth Social. You've probably seen this, and I'll quote from Trump. Mar-a-Lago security tapes were not deleted. They were voluntarily handed over to the thugs, headed up by deranged Jack Smith. We did not even go to court to stop them from getting these tapes. I never told anybody to delete them. Prosecutorial fiction and misconduct. Election interference. Byron, what do you make of that? I mean, Trump, of course, his lawyer, Trump, they said we gave them everything they wanted. Now this guy Smith is trying to turn state's evidence. He's going into, low-level maintenance people. What do you make of this, Byron Donalds?
I make of it, Larry, what I've always made of it, is that Jack Smith is the prosecutor who will try to go after any possible thing. And frankly, he's somewhat of a lunatic. We saw this with how he went after Bob McDonald, the former governor of Virginia, and that case had to be thrown out. At the end of the day, the reason why Merrick Garland chose Jack Smith is because Jack Smith will do anything, and I mean anything, to try to get a conviction. But the truth of the matter is that the president, under the Presidential Records Act, was allowed to have documents. And now this new stuff about how they deleted tapes at Mar-a-Lago. I mean, look, Hillary Clinton actually deleted emails. That's actually occurred, and they did nothing. So now we're going to say that this is the crime of the century? No, this is Jack Smith. This is Merrick Garland. And I do believe, yes, this is Joe Biden trying to grind their axe on Donald Trump. Period. No more, no less.
Byron, if you got a moment, I want to place it. You know Mark Levin. You've been on his show. Mark is an old friend of mine. Here's some quotes from Mark Levin about this fella, Jack Smith. This is from Mark's show last night. Please take a listen.
The purpose of a special counsel is to have a prosecutor who's outside main justice. Who is Jack Smith? He was chief of the Public Integrity Section from 2010 to 2015. Who did he report to ultimately? Eric Holder. We have a gentleman by the name of David Harbach. He is typically the chief litigator for Smith. He's known him a long time. Former special counsel to FBI Director James Comey. Then we have Raymond Hustler, another guy that comes out of the Public Integrity Section. So what Jack Smith did is he brought all of his guys back, all the people who have abused the law in the past, all the people who have abused and targeted individuals and turned them into defendants in the past. He's brought them all into his special independent counsel office. All come out of main justice. Most come out of the Holder regime.
So there you have it. And that's important, that last line. Most came out of the Eric Holder regime. This is the Obama administration going through Eric Holder. Now it's the Biden administration. These guys are all a bunch of left-wingers, Byron. And this Jack Smith guy, they didn't have to pick him. He's part of what Mark calls main justice. It's a left-wing cabal. I mean, I think this is important. I don't think the public knows about this stuff.
No, they don't. There's something else that the public doesn't really know. Jack Smith was actually up to become a U.S. attorney. You know who didn't give him that post? Donald Trump didn't give him that post. So is it outside the realm of possibility that he's got an axe to grind because he thought he was supposed to get some position under the Trump administration, like he was in line to get it, but didn't get the job? Look, at the end of the day, what we are seeing is very clear. They are using the Department of Justice to go after their chief political rival, all at the same time where the same Department of Justice tried to give the sweetest of sweetheart plea deals to the president's son. And the only reason that didn't go through is because they tried to sneak immunity from all of Hunter Biden's FARA violations in a plea deal over a gun charge. And a federal judge said, this is stupid. I'm not signing off on this. So that's what we have going on at the Department of Justice, or the Department of Injustice, because they are just as corrupt as the Biden family, in my opinion.
And that judge, Noriega in Wilmington, was not really part of the shall we say, main justice. She wasn't part of the Barack Obama, Eric Holder, Joe Biden marathon. She was outside the mainstream. That's why she was so sensible. The judge down in Miami, Florida, the same thing. She's not part of that main justice cabal from these left-wing administrations. So she is far more sensible. I mean, I think there's a pattern here. Byron, let me just ask you, from what you've learned today regarding the hearing and Devon Archer, what did you make of that? I think they're bombshells, but what did you learn?
Well, look, first thing I want to make sure I do is get the full transcript. This is going to be great reading. But from the snippets that have already been released that are out there, Joe Biden was on the phone with Hunter Biden's business partners. If your son calls you 20 times, Larry, and says, "Hey, Dad, I'm sitting here with these people. Can you say hello?" After like the second call, you're going to be like, "Son, who are these people that you got me talking to?" Yes. Joe Biden knew full well what was going on. I've been saying it for months now. Hunter Biden was the bag man. If Joe Biden's not discussing business, that's really only because they're trying to give him, quote unquote, plausible deniability at best. But he knew full well what Hunter Biden was doing. He knew what Devon Archer were doing. They were selling influence. And even Devon Archer says the whole purpose of Joe Biden being on the call was to sell the brand. If you're trying to sell people in foreign countries, foreign companies, that you have access to Joe Biden, what's the best way to do that than whipping out your phone and putting them on a conference call impromptu? That's the best way you show that you have influence.
I mean, yeah, right. Devon Archer was the BFF of the entire Biden family. If anybody knows from the inside what was going on, he did. He come back. I mean, they tried to throw him in jail before he testified. Then I guess the Justice Department had to back off or something. I'm glad I'm not Devon Archer for many, many different reasons. So you're going to look at the transcript. We're all going to want to see that transcript. What's the next step here, Byron? Is there anything planned?
Tracking down money. I think that's where we go now. We're going to be in the process of continuously trying to find the stream of money, where it went to, what got paid for. Because the other thing, Larry, I think did occur here is Hunter Biden was paying for stuff for his daddy. I truly believe that occurred because even he told his daughter in a text message that, "Hey, at least I don't make you give up half your salary for me." So he's already acknowledged that in his own private communications. I think that's where this goes. Last piece, I do believe the Speaker of the House is going to open up an impeachment inquiry, and we're going to begin to get all these ducks in a row through the Judiciary Committee, because this is public corruption. There was influence peddling. There was bribery going on here, and those are high crimes and misdemeanors, in my opinion.
Yeah, Byron, last one. I still don't know. Joe Biden is in government for whatever, 50 years. How do you buy a $5.5 million mansion? How do you buy a $3 or $4 million beach house if you're on a government salary for 50 years? I mean, these are some fine-looking homes, Byron. Maybe, you and I would really enjoy these. I worked in government. I mean, I've done it twice, 3 years for Reagan and 3 years for Trump. Byron, I lost money. I had to dip into my savings. I didn't come out buying any damn mansions. How does this guy do this? Where'd that money come from?
You do think? It. Listen, you do it. It's real simple, Larry. The reason why he was able to buy these beach houses, millions and millions of dollars, is because his son was out there getting a bag for selling the family's name, basically Joe Biden's name, across the globe. There's no other way to do this. Look, I'm going to go back to my banking days on this one, Larry. Yeah. There is no way somebody's qualifying for a $5 million beach house when you're making $174,000 a year. It just ain't happening. You don't qualify for that loan, and you definitely didn't save up enough in a deposit in order to put down that much. You just didn't do it. I'm sorry. Those are the facts, America. Joe Biden was on the take, and now he's luxuriating in the fact that he was on the take.
All right, Byron Donalds, thank you, sir, for joining us again. As always, hope to speak soon.